Meet the Grid Trading Module, a simple and visual add-on for Trade Manager on MetaTrader 4 and MetaTrader 5. It helps you plan, preview, and place grid orders directly on the chart in just a few clicks. The Grid Trading Module is not a standalone program. It works together with Trade Manager on the same chart. To start using it, first make sure that Trade Manager MT4 or MT5 is running. Then in the Navigator window, find the Grid Trading Module in the Indicator section and drag it onto the same chart where Trade Manager is already loaded. Once the Grid module starts, an extra panel appears next to Trade Manager. This is where you can set all the parameters for your grid. We begin by choosing the direction of the grid. In our example, we'll set it to long, which means all planned buy orders will appear above the current price. Next, we decide how many orders will be in the grid. In this case, 4. Then we set the distance between each order. We'll use 15 pips. Finally, we choose the starting point of the grid, which defines where the first order will be placed. You can set it as a pip distance from the current price or switch to price mode using the blue button to enter an exact price level. In our case, we set the first order 15 pips above the current price. After setting the basic parameters, click Show Grid to draw the grid on the chart. Now we can make adjustments. You can change the number of levels or the gap directly from the panel. For example, increase the number of orders to 5 and reduce the gap to 10 pips. You can also adjust the grid visually by dragging the lines on the chart. If you drag one of the middle orders, the whole grid moves together. If you grab the bottom order, you can stretch it downward. Dragging the top order stretches or compresses the grid upward or downward. You can also freely move the stop loss and take profit lines to position them exactly where you want. Stop loss and take profit can also be entered manually in the panel. You can set them as distances in pips from the outermost order. When defined in pips, they move together with the grid, keeping the same distance from the last order. Alternatively, you can define stop loss and take profit as exact price levels. In that case, they stay fixed on the chart, even if you move or stretch the grid. This is useful when you want to keep a strict price level for protection or for your profit target. Before placing the grid, we need to choose how to calculate lot size or risk. There are several ways to do this, depending on your trading plan. The first option is fixed lot, where every order uses the same lot size, for example, 0.1. You can also make the lot size grow or shrink across the grid. Choose lot add to increase or decrease each next order by a fixed amount. For example, 0.01, 0.02, and so on. You can even use a negative value to make each order smaller, or use lot multiple to multiply each next order by a factor. If you set it to 2, each order doubles in size, 0.1, 0.2, 0.4, 0.8, and so on. Lot add and lot multiple work only when fixed lot is selected. Another method is risk-based sizing. With risk percent grid, you set the total risk for the entire grid. For example, 2% of your account balance. The module automatically calculates lot sizes for each order so that total loss never exceeds that 2%. You can also use risk percent order, which applies the same risk to each order separately. For example, 1% per trade. Alternatively, you can define the risk in your account currency. Choose risk cash grid to set a total amount, like $500 for the whole grid. Or use risk cash order to risk a fixed amount per trade, for example, $100 per order. Once you are happy with your setup, click Place Grid to send all orders to your broker. The visual grid will disappear automatically after the orders are placed. From that moment, Trade Manager can manage these trades according to the settings defined in its panel, such as automatic break-even, trailing stop, or equity protection control. If the market changes and you want to cancel the setup, click Close Grid to instantly remove all pending and active orders. Before we finish, there's one more thing worth mentioning: the stop loss and take profit mode. By default, the grid uses a common stop loss and take profit for all orders, which is the most popular option among traders. But you can also switch to individual stop loss and take profit, where each order has its own SL and TP. To change this, right-click on the chart, open Indicator List, select Grid Trading Module, then click Properties. In the Grid Settings section, find the SL and TP mode parameter. Choose either Common or Individual, then confirm with OK. When you use individual mode, Each order in the grid has its own stop loss and take profit defined in pips. When you move one on the chart, all of them shift together, keeping equal distance. Additionally, in the standard settings window, you can customize the appearance of the grid. Adjust the font size, colors, and line style to match your personal preferences. That's everything you need to know to start using the grid trading module for MT4 and MT5. It's a clear and powerful tool that makes planning and managing multiple orders simple, visual, and precise.